Welcome, gods and goddesses, to my very first Smite lore. I am Alpha Celestial, your enthusiast for today. If you don't know what Smite is a MOBA similar to the titles of League of Legends and Dota. However, what makes Smite stand out is the third-person perspective that gives the game more immersion and easier to track your movements. That was my hardest time in League of Legends. So when I found Smite, it was a mix of something that I would have preferred, and the one thing that has captivated me since the 5 to 6 years now playing this game is the mythology aspect. I've always been very big on myths and other cultures, and this is what got me. However, it wasn't until a few years ago I noticed something on the Fall of War Odyssey event. And if you don't know what the Odyssey events are, they are a end of year event that happens in Smite that kind of brings the whole year to a big crescendo and starts off the next year. It wasn't until this event that it really opened my eyes. Lore. Now, I'm a big fan of this game because of the use of the gods and the individual lore that give the gods their reasons as to why they're entering the battlefield. What I never thought about till I opened that page on that Odyssey event was how the story between the gods played out, how they felt and they interacted with one another. That brought me to a whole new level of obsession. Now, you may be wondering, where are we starting? How did we end up to Tiamat coming into the game? Is there a driving aspect that pushed the gods in the universe to this point? Well, during Smite's lore, they have one officially released comic called the Pantheon War that starts off the chain of events that continues to today. And with the release of Tiamat, the lore on the new Pantheon and the effects on this world is yet to come. You can also read and purchase this comic by checking the description below or on Smite Wiki. This is one of the only Smite lores that is locked behind a paywall due to the fact that it is authentically published. This isn't a sponsor, but just a shout out because the artist who made this comic is very talented and deserves the credit. And now, with that all being said, let's begin our journey. Gods and goddesses, this is Smite lore. We begin in Asgard, with Hel, the goddess of the underworld, walking up to her chained brother. She offers a gift to Fenrir, to which he replies,
"I've no need for gifts, only freedom and revenge."
She replies, "I bring balance." In her hand, she holds the magic cudgel that belongs to a powerful deity, Sun Wukong. Taking the staff in hand, she breaks the chains that bound Fenrir, giving him the title of the Unbound in Smite. Fenrir pauses as the chains holding them no longer.
How?
You need only be thankful, not understanding.
This is not a gift,
He roars back. She calmly replies, "So like our father. Balance will take patience and time. I have placed but one stone on the scale, and it's yet to shift.
How long must I wait?"
It has already begun." We move to Greece, off the coast of Olympia, where a statue of Hades is in the process of being torn down by mortals on boats, heaving and pulling the statue into the ocean. As the statue breaks and falls, a pointy-eared canine stands above the crowd in Greece. Anubis, god of the dead, calls out to the crowd of new worshippers,
"Have no fear, newly faithful. Your lives end this day, but Anubis will guide your souls safely beyond the veil. Are you prepared?"
The crowd replies, "To you, Lord Anubis, we give our souls. Yes, we are prepared." A shadowy voice responds,
"What is this?"
Hades, king of the underworld, appears out of a blue mist as he approaches Anubis.
"Do you know where you are, dog? This is Olympia. These faithful are mine."
Anubis holds his ground.
"When the mountain began breathing flame, your faithful called for you, Hades. Yet your answer was silence. They died in agony, and their souls untended. So desperate were their prayers, they reached the ears of Anubis.
Hades tilts his head and snarling.
And what long ears you have, Anubis. Return their souls to me by right, and I'll let you flee with your tail between your legs.
Anubis readies himself for combat by placing his staff in both of his hands.
Anubis cannot give what he did not take. Faith was earned from your negligence. The failing is yours.
Hades balls his fists and readies his staff.
Come then, let there be blood.
The two fight and shake the ground they stand on, each unleashing blow after blow of unbridled power. Their staffs engage in a flurry of blocks and strikes as they each try to land a hit. It is a parry by Hades that gets the upper hand, sweeping Anubis off his feet and forcing him to the ground. As Anubis lays on the ground, recovering from the hit, Hades reaches his hand out, full of blight, ready to overcome Anubis' steel body with his power. Then, with the flash of bright light blinding the two of them, then a blast wave of light and energy knocks the two away from each other. Bolts of lightning start to arc off the ground where the initial blast had hit. Zeus, god of the sky, hovering over the knocked prone gods of the dead, with a booming voice,
"This ends now."
Hades recovers from the surprise.
This is no matter of yours, brother. This interloper sought to usurp my faithful.
As Hades explains, Anubis bows and kneels in front of Anubis.
Anubis will emit when he is within Olympia, beyond the kingdom of the sun, but came when the faithful were desperate, when their god did not answer.
Zeus ponders for a moment.
"Anubis, you will accompany me to my palace, where we will await an answer from Ra, your king, and he and I will discuss these events and pass judgment accordingly."
He turns and looks at Hades, bolts arcing in his eyes.
"As for you, brother, these souls are yours. Return to the palace when you are done. We will have words."
Anubis interjects.
Anubis will comply, but he must protest. These souls are...
Zeus stares at Hades.
"Decision is made, Anubis. We depart immediately."
They both start to fizzle in their respective energies as they leave. Hades turns, snaps his fingers, and the souls start to be absorbed into his essence. We jump to Mount Olympus, capital of Olympia, to a training ground with two gods sparring. Athena, goddess of wisdom, and Ares, god of war. They train as if they duel for their life. Snide comments fly from each of their lips. As Athena stands victor, Zeus arrives as he congratulates Athena. He takes her aside while he seeks counsel from his daughter. He informs her that the faithful mortals have been a constant struggle for them. The Pantheons grow too large, and fear there will not be enough faithful to come around.
It will come to war.
She hesitates. You can't mean...
Tonight, Ares will guard Anubis, while I await Ra's arrival. I pray we can resolve this civilly, but the balance has already tipped. Have the soldiers ready. I will do all in my power to avoid open war. But I smell blood in the air.
That night, Zeus walks in with Hades in his throne room.
Anubis was not wrong, brother. Those faithful on the island were your responsibility.
Hades strides alongside him.
When was the last time you tended to the faithful, Zeus? Directly. They are fickle, spiteful. They demand immediate attention, or claim they have been abandoned.
Zeus turns around and points at his brother sternly.
They were abandoned, Hades. They are our source of power. Never forget that. We serve them as they serve us. It must work both ways. When the faithful no longer believe, we are lost.
Hades boasts, "The souls in the underworld know who their god is."
You miss the point, brother. I can only intervene so much. There may come a time when I cannot prevent another Pantheon from claiming our faithful as I did today.
Perhaps it is time we push them back.
War is not the solution, Hades. I will need to meet with the rest of the rulers of the Pantheons. Borders will need to be drawn, laws created and enforced.
Zeus sighs as he sits in his throne, placing his hand on his head.
Leave me. I have much to think on.
Hades turns and leaves, making one last remark.
It is long past the time we reminded everyone of our power, brother, whether you see it or not.
Zeus sits on his throne, waiting in silence in absence of anyone's presence. Moments passes as a green-cloaked figure walks into his throne room. Without looking, Zeus addresses the figure.
No more talk, brother. I told you to leave.
And a blade appears in the hand of the figure. A curved dagger. Zeus's eyes flash from the sound of it being unsheathed.
In my own hall, how dare you!
Zeus lurches forward with rage and readies his arm as he summons a bolt in his hand. As he is about to let it loose, tendrils of water dissolve the bolt as it comes from the shadows of its throne. Another cloaked figure wearing a gray cloak. The green figure stands next to the gray.
You're late.
Stop whining. My timing is fortuitous. Zeus summons another bolt and ready towards them.
You think to outnumber me. It will do you no good.
Another figure appears from behind his throne in a bluish cloak.
Outnumbered. This is merely balanced.
As a black shadow emanates from her, hitting Zeus in the back, causing the bolt to hit between the gray and green cloaked figures. After the recoil, the blue and gray cloaks jump toward Zeus as the green cloak vanishes from sight. Zeus defends himself against two individual attacks from each as the green cloak appears behind Zeus. He shields himself in his lightning as the dagger that was to hit his back is engulfed.
I am no easy prey. I am the god of thunder.
The gray cloak lays on the ground from Zeus's impressive defensive skills. He murmurs as a white goatee and pointed beard is seen from his face. He lifts his arm, which is highly decorated. Lightning before thunder. He raises his arm as a geyser of water hits Zeus from underneath and jettisons him upwards. As he falls back down to the ground, the green cloak figure meets Zeus with the blade to his ribs and leaves him on the ground. The throne of Zeus sits empty. And that'll do it for part 1 of the Pantheon War. Thank you guys so much for listening. I cannot tell you how appreciative and how much gratitude I have for you taking time out of your day to listen to this. I had a really, really fun time making this. A lot of do-overs, a lot of mistakes. I know there's still a couple in there, but trying to do everything in one go is quite hard. You know, I don't have the editing skills to do such, but I will get better as we go along. That being said, I would deeply love if you guys would like, subscribe, as well as comment who your favorite god or goddess in Smite is and how long you've been playing. Love to hear from you guys. If you guys enjoyed this, please let me know as well. Once again, I am Alpha Celestial, your Smite lore enthusiast. And I will see you on the battleground.